Time for a good laugh this morning. Always love a good comedy show.
Just shout out some lunchboxes, just for comparison's sake. I want to hear you look like good lunchbox people here. What did you have? If you had one, just shout it out. Dukes of Hazzard, very good one for the time. Star Wars, excellent. We're 2 for 2. What is it? Bonanza. How old are you, man? Yes, I had a Rutherford B. Hayes lunchbox with a John the Baptist thermos, dipping the locust in the wild honey when I'm eating my lunch.
That is Dobie Maxwell's recently posted comedy special, Worst Case Scenario, fresh off a show at the MGM Grand Hotel in Vegas. Dobie Maxwell in studio, ladies and gentlemen. Good
Buddy,
morning, Dean.
thank you.
How are you?
Gentlemen, it's good to be anywhere, especially in WTMJ. Growing up in Milwaukee, I used to listen to Gordon Hinckley read the school lunch menus every morning. And I went to Silver Spring School on the north side, and they didn't have that was the only school in the city didn't have a school lunch program. We had to bring our lunch to school. That's how that lunchbox bit started.
Why were you listening to that then?
Because he couldn't help it. He would say it. I was like, the kids are having Salisbury steak. And
That's
you're
good
hearing
for
it
those
like
kids.
Charlie Brown's teacher, want steak. Oh, God. And I got, a bag full of stuff that my grandma put in there.
And you're like, I'm a kid, but I'm not eating that.
Eating that stuff.
Where's my lunch? Well, Dobie, you got a local event coming up next weekend, and we'll get to that, but I want to ask you about the special as well. First, though, how was Vegas, man? Did you kill it?
Vegas is good. I worked in the same week. I headlined in Las Vegas and a Moose Lodge in Harvard, Illinois. That's how the comedy career is.
Pretty much
and
the
they were
same
both
thing.
fun and great. Vegas is a good time. It took a long time to get in down there. And like anywhere, you got to get in. I worked at Brad Garrett's club at the MGM Grand Hotel. Nice. And I wear my Brewers gear everywhere. And people come up in Vegas, if you've been out there, because are you from Milwaukee? They want to know where the good buffets are, because people in Wisconsin know where to eat.
I was going to ask you about that.
And Vegas buffets are gone. It's the old school. The cheap ones are gone.
Well, so everybody says Vegas is getting too expensive.
Yeah.
What's going on over there?
I don't know.
They took out all the. My grandfather, who grew up here, or they were from the South Side, right? He didn't gamble. He didn't have any reason to go to Vegas, except for they used to go once in a while for cheap eats.
Cheap eats, man.
That was the guy. So no more?
Well, he's a South Side. You could go to Goldman's basement for cheap eats. The Goldman's. That was always good. No, it's a whole different world in many ways, but yeah, Vegas is too. But it's fun to go out there because there's people from everywhere. I know there's lingo, like when you're from Milwaukee, a bubbler. Nobody knows what a bubbler is anywhere else. So, Vegas is fun, but Milwaukee's fun, too. I love working here because it's real. It's the Midwest, and I'm home.
Now, Dobie, you said it takes a while to get to Vegas. How long has it taken you to be able to perform in Vegas?
Well, but I was based in the Midwest for so long. You got to go to get car to get wherever you are. So most normal people drive 30 to 45 minutes to work an 8 to 10 hour shift at a typical job. Comedians drive 8 to 10 hours to work a 30 to 45 minute shift. Completely different.
It's a real bad
But
math.
Vegas was out. I didn't want to fly back then because you have all your stuff in your car, and comedy is a real vagabond road life. So it took probably 30 years to get in out there.
Wow.
But when I got there, they saw me as a headliner and a closer. Wow, where have you been? So rather than you start out, it's like anything. Minor league baseball, you got A, AA, AAA, then you hit the majors.
Yeah.
So I learned in all the small towns, honky tonks, gin joints, smoke-filled hell holes all across America. I worked 49 states and the UP.
Which is its own deal.
And tomorrow I'm at the UP Comedy Festival. Can you believe that? There's a UP Comedy Festival, and I'm working it.
What city?
Marquette.
Okay, all right. Well, so that's like
There's not a whole lot of
that's
cities
UP,
up there.
but you're right. I know, right? It's not like you're in Ishpeming or something like that. Or...
Well, I'm minutes from Ishpeming. Yeah.
Dobie Maxwell is with us. Dobie, your comedy special, Worst Case Scenario, posted on the streaming site called Dry Bar Comedy. Tell me about the special. And actually, how does Dry Bar work? That's clean comedy, right?
It's clean comedy. It's like the Tonight Show used to be 30 years ago. And I'm not a prude. You're not a prude, but nobody wants to hear bleepity blankety blank. You can hear it in Quick Trip from the guy in front of you in the checkout line. I grew up in Milwaukee. My dad was a biker. My grandmother could outswear the bikers. I've heard every word, every incarnation of it, and I decided as a business decision to do clean comedy. And people come up to me, and it's in Vegas and in Harvard. You're great. You're really funny. And then they always whisper, and thank you for keeping it clean.
Yeah, thanks for keeping it clean.
It's like this bad thing. It's like, well, you're welcome. It's kind of a good thing, and it's a brand now, and you get paid. Clean leads to green. So any aspiring comedians, I've been teaching classes for 25 years. Richard Pryor, George Carlin, every comedian you can think of started out as a clean comedian. It just broadens your chances to get work in more places. Then you can polish your act, your persona, your style, your product to anything you want, and you can narrow it down. Then once you can put butts in seats, you can pretty much do anything you want to.
Yeah.
But beforehand, be smart, be clean. And I just think there's a large market that isn't being served of people that want to hear that.
Can I tell you a quick story on
Sure.
that?
It's your show. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I suppose. Yes, we've established that. So I did maybe 5 to 7 minutes of material. I've dabbled in stand-up, and people say, "Oh, you do?" Well, no, I goof around once in a while. But,
Sure.
So Dave and Carol had me one year when I was working at TMJ4 when they did that comedy special. I think for children's, right?
Gotcha. Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a little thing, and it was really neat, and it was such a fun opportunity. And I think we were at the Pabst or the Riverside, couldn't remember, but it's, it's a big venue and big whatever. So my wife was there, and I took my mom. I said, my mom, you go sit, and the two of you sit and watch the show, whatever. So I did my thing, and I'm sure they were very proud, whatever.
Yeah.
The headliner that night, and I can't remember who it was dirty.
How dirty was he, Vince?
Took my breath away, Toby. He was funny as all get out, but my wife still tells the story of, I sat there next to your mom and listened to this guy talk about this and that.
Yeah.
And I was afraid to laugh because if I laughed, you think, what kind of woman is my son married?
Yeah, no, exactly.
You thought that was funny, did you, huh?
Right. Dobie, I'm trying to think of famous comedians that kept it clean. Didn't Bill Cosby was one of the rare ones that...
Sadly, now, his personal life was another issue.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby was the greatest comedian of the modern era. And people say, well, he did all this stuff. Well, I'm not saying what he did in his life. And it's kind of my grandparents raised me. And we saw a show at the Riverside Theater. And Bill Cosby, to skip 2 generations, he made us both howl and laugh. And he was just absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And he was a storyteller. And my comedy has evolved into being a storyteller myself. Because there's one thing I have an embarrassment of wealth in, it's stories. And I was walking up Wisconsin Avenue. My best friend robbed a bank that I used to work at and tried to blame it on me. Twice. It's right up the street. That was the first financial.
It happened twice?
It happened twice.
You gave him a second chance to blame you?
Well, he did it twice and tried to blame one on me.
Oh, okay.
And I had to wear a wire for the government. I don't have one on today, gentlemen, so that's okay.
That's fine.
I put my best friend in prison for 6.5 years. Now, that's not even a part of my comedy show. I wrote a book about it called Monkey in the Middle, but it happened right here in Milwaukee. So things happen, and most comedians, I call this dented cans. You go to the grocery store, the dented cans are put on the shelf. They don't put them with the regular normal cans. They're always put way back, and it's not even a real sign. It's just a little crayon. Get this stuff out of here. We don't want it. We'll take anything. And read Charlie Chaplin's autobiography. Yeah, exactly. Just take it out. We'll take aluminum cans, baseball cards. What do you got? And I think, comedians have to come up the ranks like that, and we have to deal with it. So my one-man show is called Schlitz Happened, an old Milwaukee Blatz from the Pabst. And it's grown up because when I go on the road, you'll say, you're from Milwaukee, and then talk about Leon's, and they talk about the Allen Bradley clock, and they talk about Pill and Puff. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember
I do remember
Puff.
that.
Yeah, and it's like the things we have bubblers and time machines. So I come up and I talk about that, but the show has evolved over the years. Now it's about childhood, painful childhood issues, man. My dad was a biker. My mom left our family, abandoned 3 kids when I was 5 months old. Dad's a biker, mom's a hiker. They're gone. How do you deal with that? She took a hike. And the thing is, it's like, okay, these things happen tragically. This is why people drink and do drugs. And I spent my whole life, 40 years, trying to get away from all this stuff. Now when I turn inward and talk about it